Hey everyone, it's Liz from iHeartHookah.com and HookahLounge.net. Today I'm here gonna do a tutorial on how to set up your hookah. I believe that I have everything I need, except for my bowl, but it's right here. And I will show you from, filling up the base where it needs to be, packing your bowl with herbal shisha. That's what I'm doing my review on in a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then also how to do your aluminum foil. All of this has a lot to do with how your hookah smokes, especially the holes on the aluminum foil and how you pack your shisha. And as you can see, I'm using a funnel bowl, which is what I recommend for everybody to use, even if it's a fake one. Like, that's what this is. This is a fake funnel bowl, and I don't ever plan to have to spend so much on a real funnel bowl, but we'll see. So, just give me a minute to set up and everything. Better than this, and I'll go ahead and start off again. And, yeah, so here we go. First off, you fill the base to where the stem is about 1.5 inches, maybe a little bit less or a little bit more underwater. A good way to measure is you hold it up to it, and I'll see, I have a lot more in there than I need, so I'm just going to pour some out. Okay, so that's about good. Yeah, it's probably about 1.5 inches, maybe a little bit more. That ensures that your smoking is going to be the best, like that you'll be able to get the best amount of smoke out of it, instead of like having to pull too hard, like having your smoke to where you have to pull it too hard. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Now, to get this grommet in there, I always soak it with water beforehand because it seems to make it a lot easier. And then you just, ta-da! A lot of people that have the Mia grommets definitely understand where I'm coming from with that, because sometimes it'll get like wrapped up in it. And I always try to make sure that if I have the removable check valves, that they are wet whenever I put them in there. That way I know the ball's not going to stick, because they like to do that on the little Mias, on the mini Mias. And then of course you put the ashtray on top of it, which I know you probably can't see it now. I'll move it over here just in case. And then the grommet. And then I'm going to pack my bowl. I'm going to do Hydro Citrus Twist. It's lemon lime. You'll see the review for that in a little bit. So, I usually take out how much I think I want to need for the bowl. That should be enough. If not, I'll grab more. I like to separate it on the counter. It might be a little messy, but oh well, who cares? It's easy to clean up. Get it as loose as you can. That way it pretty much makes it into, a bunch of fluffy stuff. And I just start setting it in there. I don't pack it down. I just set it in there now. And I fill it up all the way, actually over the top, with as much as I think it needs. And then I press it down just a little bit. Like, I don't, wow, I'm going to say this 3 times, but I don't fill it too full. Well, I do fill it over it, but after it, like, presses down, it's usually, like, maybe 2 millimeters from the top, if you can see that. I don't know if you can or not. Hold on, let me turn on another light. There we go. Now maybe you can see it a little bit better, I'm not sure. But that's about how it is. Sometimes some of the shisha sticks out farther, and oh well, who cares? It's not hurting anything. It might burn a little bit more. Now for my aluminum foil, I did forget to grab it out, because I'm really, I'm out of it right now. For the funnel bowl, hold on. I think I'm retarded. There we go. Somebody broke my aluminum foil. For the funnel bowl, the pieces of aluminum foil is actually, they have to be pretty big. Wow, I am so tired. See that's about the average size that I cut them. Doesn't have to be perfect unless you're OCD about it. I always do it shiny side down. I'm sure that that doesn't make a difference, but it's just a habit of mine. Just, I don't know why. And I just set it on there just like that. And you saw how I did it. I kind of cup it with my hands, push it down. See how that worked? And now it's almost a perfectly flat top. Just like that. I use these little Japanese coals. I'll show you the box. Hold on. They're Easy Light Japanese coals, like I said. And, maybe they're not Japanese, but yeah, they are Japanese, I guess. I don't really care. But you have to break them up, and I use 3 of them. It seems to work best like that. Stupid things. Somehow 5 broke into 3, and they even have like little breaking points. So I don't understand that, but whatever. Now I went to Walmart and I grabbed these little pins. They have glass heads on the end of them, so they're not easy to lose. But as long as I'm using, you know, 3 like square holes like that, I do it in squares, just like this. Hold on, I'll show you when I'm done. You see that? There's a row of squares. And now I go ahead and do 3 of those. And by the way, the smaller the hole, the better. I'm not positive exactly why, but I've tested it, and it seems like from my results, the smaller the hole is, makes the better smoke. Maybe it's just because it doesn't let a whole lot of heat through, but just enough to get by with the best, like, ratio. I'm not sure. Done with the second one. You see how I'm doing it? It's kind of like a Y pattern, basically. But you don't want to go over the center hole if you're using a funnel bowl or a vortex bowl. Now I'm doing my 3rd one. Foxy! Go to jail! My dog decides to bark in the middle of the tutorial. I never answer my door, so sometimes whenever I'm doing reviews, you'll hear random knocks, but if they're important, they'll call me, so. Okay, now you see that. That's how I do that kind of bowl. Especially, like I said, if I'm going to go ahead and use 3 of these regular coals. Now, 95% of the time that I can afford them, I'm using coconuts. Just because they're just way better of a bowl, or of a coal. I'm sorry, I was focusing on bowls. Now I do have the Mia bowl, I do have the clay bowl, I do have a few other kinds. Now, as far as using quick lights, if you're going to use quick lights on a regular, you know, clay bowl, even just the Mia bowl or whatever, I would go the same way with the foil. Just go ahead and put it on there really, really tight and make sure that there's no bubbles on the side and that it's still, you know, tight and flat, basically. And the way that I do these is I do hundreds of holes around it. I start out with that, like that, okay, so I just do a whole bunch of them. Oh, I'm starting to get tense here. I'd probably do a little bit more than this, but this is just because I'm tired of poking holes. That's usually about how it looks. Maybe a little bit more holes. I try not to do the little rips like I did on this one, and I usually succeed at that. So that's how I do that kind of bowl. Now I forgot to mention that with the base of the hookah, if it is an acrylic base, you need to fill it with water before you put ice in it. If not, then you're going to drop a piece of ice in there one day, and it's just going to shatter the whole bottom. We don't know why that is. Maybe it's just because it's so cold hitting a regular, a room temperature surface or something.